Welcome back to my channel. I am your favorite mother of three, bougie vintage and new hair who dis, okay? I am living for these faux locks. However, they are taking me days because yes, I am doing them myself. No, I did not record it. I kind of recorded it, but I did record it. So if it does end up on YouTube, it will be a short. Now, let's get into this B with the T. So obviously, for the last 2 weeks, Kanye has been making headlines. And the reason he's making headlines is because he has said some pretty outlandish things out of his mouth. Now, this is the Kanye that we've always known. This is how Kanye moves, operates. This is not new. From the time Kanye was introduced to us, we realized he does not care. He has no filter. He's going to say what's on his mind, when it's on his mind, and can't nobody stop him. A few examples of this would obviously be George Bush does not care about black people. An iconic moment in television history, okay? Live TV, you know, Kanye made that statement and the girls were gagged. George Bush was gagged. Everybody was gagged. Chris Tucker didn't know what to do. Girl, it was iconic, okay? And we loved him for that because did he lie? Fast forward, Taylor Swift wins an award over Beyonce. Kanye bombards her on stage and tells her he's gonna let her finish. But Beyonce had the best music video. I think he might have said of all time, girl. I don't know, I can't remember. The fact of the matter is, he was ignorant, okay? He went up on that stage and pretty much told Taylor Swift she don't deserve the award that she's won. In his music, he's been outspoken. In every aspect of the word, Kanye West has been outspoken. And later down the line, a few years ago, Kanye made some very, very hurtful and ignorant, and I don't even really know what words to describe his statement back then other than hurtful and ignorant, which were statements that hurt black people because he did state that slavery was a choice. Whether you want to say that's paraphrased or not is irrelevant because that's what he said. And at that point, black people decided they were going to distance themselves from Kanye, rightfully so. Some people decided they would no longer support the Yeezy brand. Other people said they weren't going to listen to his music. But in the end, we saw that people actually did still support Kanye, which was interesting because so many people said they weren't going to support him and they canceled him and blah, 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 blah. But he didn't appear to be canceled. Fast forward to present day, and Kanye West has gone on another tirade, but it's gotten to the point now where he actually is looking canceled. And I find it interesting because the people that are canceling him are not canceling him because of the things that he said over the years. They're not canceling him for the things that he's done. They're not canceling him for constantly posting his text messages and calling Kris Jenner Kris Jong-un. I'm sorry. They're canceling him because he finally crossed the boundary of speaking on Jewish people, which everybody pretty much knows this is a complete faux pas. This is not something you do ever engage in at all. That's always been known. And that's why I have the question, was this intentional? Did Kanye West purposefully make these comments about Jewish people? And did he purposefully participate in anti-Semitism so that he could break these contracts with the corporations that he wanted to break contracts with without having to do it himself? Because obviously if you break contract, you have to pay. But if they sever ties with him, is that what happened here? And did it go too far? Or is it going too far? See, my problem with all of this is nobody cared when he said slavery is a choice, or that sounds like a choice to me. Matter of fact, his own wife at the time, Miss Kim Kardashian, she tried to explain what he was trying to say. She tried to excuse what he said. She actually said he didn't say that and elaborated for us and tried to make it make sense, you know? Very wife-like. But yesterday, she posted that she does not agree with the things that he's currently saying, but it's the same thing. That's why I'm gay. Balenciaga didn't cut ties or sever ties with him when slavery was a choice, and Anna Wintour didn't do it either. The banks didn't cut his money off. Adidas didn't sever ties with Yeezy and stop payment when he said slavery was a choice. They didn't sever ties with him even when he spoke on George Floyd. But the minute he opened his mouth and said something about Jewish people, now everybody is up in arms about bigotry and racism. Oh, because he's black, he was allowed to say those things about slavery? Is that what this is giving? Because I am personally confused why nobody severed ties with him before. Why didn't the bank say, you know what? We don't agree with racism. We don't agree that slavery was indeed a choice. Please come and take your money out of our bank because we are no longer doing business with you. They didn't do that back then. He was allowed to keep generating them income when he was pooping on black folk. Was it because he's black too? That's not their fight. They were minding their business, but the minute that they're involved, oh, now they care? I am personally confused. I don't get it, and I want somebody to explain it to me. And I was talking about it on my live earlier as to why black people never stuck together when he said those things. Was it that we didn't stick together, or was it that we just didn't have enough power to cut him off? See, Kanye wasn't banking at black banks. He was banking at the regular banks that everybody else banks at. If he was banking at black banks and black banks said, come and get your money out of here, the white banks would have gladly taken his money because nobody cares when it's about black people. But when it's about other people, all of a sudden, you're not allowed to do that. We saw this happen last year or the year before with Nick Cannon, when Nick Cannon said some things that were side-eyed. I don't even know what the man said. I can't remember. The fact of the matter is he came out, apologized, and he still managed to keep his job. Kanye West has too apologized, but I think it's a little too late for him. And apparently already his net worth, is slowly declining. Now, I personally feel like Kanye is wrong on all fronts. I think he's wrong for his comments about anybody. I think he's wrong for pretty much everything. However, I'm still left confused because why didn't they pull his money and pull his partnerships before? Why did it take him having to say this for them to do it? I think this situation is showing us a lot. I feel like it's revealing a lot to us about how much power we do and do not have when it comes to cancel culture or canceling. We don't have a lot of power because until people that are in those contracts that he was talking about decide that you're canceled, you're not canceled. They tried to cancel Doja Cat, but she never said anything that was anti-Semitism, so she's not going to get canceled. They tried to cancel Dave Chappelle for his transgender jokes. Didn't happen. Didn't work. Netflix said no. So the only real surefire way to get canceled is to say something out of pocket about Jewish people. And I'm very, very intrigued by this. Very intrigued by it. And I'm particularly intrigued by Miss Kim Kardashian. And I'm gonna pull up exactly what she said because I did tweet it. And it's so funny because I don't know if my tweet was shadow banned, but I tweeted this and nobody was retweeting it. Only one person responded to it. And usually when I post, that's not the case. Kim said, hate speech is never okay or excusable. That is completely the opposite of what she said when Kanye said slavery was a choice. She said, I stand together with the Jewish community and call on the terrible violence and hateful rhetoric toward them to come to an immediate end. When Kanye had stated his slavery comment, and even when he wore the White Lives Matter t-shirt, baby girl was quiet. She said, I always know what Kanye's intentions are and what he's trying to say, but I also know that they're gonna write a headline and people are gonna assume that that's exactly what you said and what you meant, she says. He didn't say slavery is a choice. He was saying if you're gonna be enslaved for another 400 years, then that's some bull, S-H-I-T. That, as a wife, is really frustrating to see the media take everything and run with it, she concludes. That's what she said when he said slavery was a choice. But that's a completely different tone, which gags me because her kids are what? They're half black. Essentially, they're black. So why did she excuse it then? But she's saying now hate speech is never okay. It was okay when he said slavery was a choice. And just to be very clear, I'm not defending Kanye because I think he's wrong for both. I think he's wrong for his White Lives Matter shirt. Like, I don't know what point he was trying to make. I think he is wrong for his hate speech on all fronts. I think he's wrong for going on these tirades online, but I'm genuinely asking, why are they canceling him now when he been problematic? You been problematic, girl. This ain't new. Why didn't Balenciaga say, nope, don't want to work with you? The head of Balenciaga is black. Isn't Oliver black? Olivier? Like, isn't he black? So in turn, we can change the iconic TV moment from George Bush does not care about black people to Anna Wintour does not care about black people. Adidas does not care about black people. None of these people care about black people because they would have cut ties from them. Because the black people, it's not like the black people were like looking past it and quiet and didn't have nothing to say about Kanye. We had stuff to say. The black people were pissed. That's why Kim even said anything about the slavery is a choice comment, because the black people were livid. Because how dare you? Black people tried to stand up for themselves and got nowhere with it. So then a lot of time that's what happened. Anytime black people try to cancel anybody, it never works. And it's not because we don't know how to stick together and band together. Do you guys remember when we boycotted Black Friday? It worked. So it has nothing to do with they try to make it seem like black people don't know how to stick together, and that's bull. It's bull. It's not that we don't know how to stick together. It's that we really have no real positions of power. And really, I think that's just food for thought. A black guy on Twitter tweeted this: "Don't get mad at other communities holding Kanye West accountable for his actions because y'all wouldn't." It's not true. But this is what the media has pushed, that we did not hold him accountable. We did, and we were gaslit. He's a black man saying wild shit about black people and y'all justified it. No, who justified it? Who? Other than his wife. Because the black people that I know were very upset and they said they will not buy Yeezy. I never bought Yeezy since then, but my Yeezys are my favorite shoe now. They're the most comfortable, most practical. They still look brand new, and I bought them in 2017, okay? So that's what I will say about my Yeezys. But I only have one pair, and like, I won't buy another pair. So that's neither here nor there. But the fact of the matter is, it's a lie that black people didn't hold this man accountable. Black people have been speaking up. So why are we pushing this narrative that nobody from our community tried to hold him accountable? His own friends have tried to hold him accountable. Didn't Diddy say something the other day? Drink Champs was stupid because Drink Champ posted that interview with him. They looked a mess to the point where they had to remove the video. They took his platform away for a reason. See, black people don't own Instagram. Black people don't own Twitter. So we couldn't silence him that way. However, other people that own Twitter and that own Instagram, they can silence him. They can take his platform away. Facebook, same thing. They can all do that because they have the power to. But there's not a black social network that everybody is on that could silence Kanye for speaking out of turn. First of all, when he said the freaking comment about slavery is a choice, was that not on like TMZ or something like that? That was not a black network. He didn't say it on BT. Girl, like, come on, come on. Other groups of people ain't putting up with that bull. That was one guy's tweet. Another person, Ernest Owens, says, fact, before Kanye West was the face of anti-Semitism, he was one of the hip hop faces of misogynoir, anti-blackness, Trumpism, and slavery denial. And y'all still gave him contracts, period, documentaries, period, endorsements, period, clothing deals, period, and millions that became billions. Shame. No, literally, this is what I'm talking about. This guy is saying exactly what's tea. They did not give a damn before. They don't really care about us. That's what it's giving. Michael Jackson tease. Some man named Tony Poznansky said Adidas didn't drop Kanye West to stand against anti-Semitism. They dropped him because their stocks were falling hard. The analyst told them in order to salvage their stock value, they need to drop him. Nothing heroic about what they did. Is this the real tea? People are just jumping on the bandwagon now because it's convenient for their company and their brand. Of course they're gonna cut ties with him, as they should. But we didn't have no ties to cut. Kanye West wasn't doing business with black people. All his business was with people, the people that he talked about that are in the contract. That's who he cut ties with. Or that's who's cutting ties with him now. If Kanye West had a brand deal with freaking, I don't know, Fubu Yeezy, like, they would have been the first to cut ties. Okay? For us, by us. They never did a collab with Fubu. When Fubu walked so Yeezy could run, girl, what? Shout out to Damien one time, okay? But like, I need you guys to get real here. Kanye West losing deals because people don't want to work with a man spewing anti-Semitism and bigotry of all kinds is not being canceled. It's business and the consequences of his own actions. None of us are above losing opportunities because we're acting a fool. Remember that. And she's not wrong. Kanye West is finding out the hard way that he is in fact not white. And he can't say anything he wants and still get paid. How you design the bag that you fumbled. I feel like I saw. Hi.
Hi.
How are you? So, aside from Adidas, Balenciaga, and the bank, I can't remember if it was Chase Bank or Bank of America, one of them, child. The bank was the first one to cut ties, okay? And that set the tone for the canceling. If a bank is saying, we don't want your money, sir, okay? And he's a billionaire, and they say you need to come and collect your checks, your stocks, bonds, your coins, whatever you have up in this bank, you need to come and collect it because we're done with you. If that's not setting a tone, I don't know what is. And shout out to the bank. Shout out to the bank because they they put their foot down, okay? And from that happened like 2 weeks ago. They were the first ones and it was kind of silent. It was kind of quiet, but then everybody started to follow suit because it didn't stop there for him. Like once the bank cut ties and they started to pull back on Twitter and pull back on Instagram, that's when the fashion brands decided, probably after a long deliberation, what they're gonna do, because Kanye West, he brings a lot of revenue to the people that he's associated with. A lot of revenue. Like Adidas, Kanye was Adidas bread and butter. So him not being there anymore, they had already pretty much used him up for what he was good for though. That's why he was throwing those fits when they started to release things that look similar to Yeezy or the Yeezy brand that were not Yeezy. So when that was happening, we pretty much started to see him going on these rants on his Instagram and posting text messages and calling people names and doing all these extracurriculars. You know, we were in the group chat and then all of a sudden he starts like really trying to push the envelope and see how far he can take it. But I feel like this one might have backfired. I don't know. If he's released from these contracts, what does that actually mean for him as a brand when we have seen people get blackballed in Hollywood, okay? Whether it's an actor, singer, rapper, whoever. We've seen people get blackballed in Hollywood. So not a lot of people can come back, flip it, and reverse it. It's not given that. So I don't know what this means for him going forward, if anything, but he even stepped on the wrong damn toes, okay? And it's hard for me as a black woman to feel sorry for Kanye. It's hard. It's very hard. I don't. I'm sorry. I'm laughing. I literally don't feel bad for him because at the end of the day, the first toes he stepped on, we're black people. So we're pretty much looking at this situation like, well, now y'all see. We tried to tell y'all why we were mad and y'all didn't care. They didn't care when we were mad. To the point where other black people are saying that we didn't care enough, which is bull. Like, it's bull. But the talent agency, CAA, cut ties with him. Studio MRC cut ties with him. George Floyd's child's mother is suing because the stuff that him and Candace Owens have said about George Floyd is just beyond me. You cannot get up on somebody's platform and go and talk about George Floyd had fentanyl in his system like we didn't see the man get murdered on camera. What? And at this point, we're not even gonna look at his mental health issues. Because yes, they're there, but that's irrelevant. Because if you actually sit and listen to Kanye talk, to me, he doesn't sound crazy. So I'm not gonna say, yeah, no, he's. Have you met a crazy person? Uh-oh. I lived in Toronto for most of my life. Do 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 do. I work from home and I have 3 kids. 1 is at school, but 2 are listening or actually they aren't listening. 2 aren't listening and 1 is crying outside the door, but my mama is coming to get her. Do 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 do. Do y'all ever get interrupted at work? Now, I'm no mental health expert. I cannot speak to Kanye being in a manic state or not because I'm not versed in that and I don't know. I know what it looks like. I know what it seems like, but I don't know what it is. Okay? I don't think that at this point his mental health needs to even be a discussion. I think Kanye knows exactly what he's doing. I think he knows exactly why he's doing it. And maybe mental health is partially playing a role here, because I feel like once he goes off the rails, he can't really seem to get back on. And I don't feel like Kanye has anybody, not a single soul in his corner that can necessarily control him or help him when he clearly needs help to not, one, ruin his legacy. I mean, the other day we were talking about who's ruining their legacy more, not Kim or Kanye, girl, Nicki Minaj or Kanye. But I think for the first time ever in history, a man is going to be held accountable. Oh, praise Jesus! I think for the first time ever in history, we're gonna be able to say that Kanye actually is ruining his legacy and has ruined his legacy. And no, this is never going to take away from what he did musically, but I think it is going to take away from all of his other accolades and all his other things that he does outside of the music, because those people have geared up to silence him, put baby in a corner, so to speak. And I don't think that he can come back from this. I think he's done too much, and everything is pretty much getting lumped together now, and it is what it is. So it's unfortunate for him, but what Kanye does not change my life. So I could care less. I could care less if they blackball him. Now, the last thing I want to say or leave you to think about is, if this is or was Kanye's plan this whole entire time to get removed from his contracts, for people to sever ties with him without him having to do it, because contractually, if he did it and he broke contract with these people, he would owe them money. But however their contracts are looking, if they sever ties with him, they are not going to owe him anything, because whatever he says or does that's gone against their code of ethics or whatever it is, then that's too bad. That's on him. Fair enough. If he did this on purpose, my question to Kanye is, well, where do you go from here? Because once you're blackballed and you can't put your money in no bank. See, where he messed up was he shat on black people first and then went and shat on everybody else after the fact. There shouldn't be a black bank in hell, on heaven or on earth, that should say, Kanye, we support you, bring us your money, even if he is a billionaire. Because what that says is that his money is good over here, when it shouldn't be. He shat on us first. We were the first to get the shat on, okay? So a black bank should not step up now and say, Kanye, brother man, we're gonna put your money in our bank. No, absolutely the frick not. And anyone that does it should be canceled as well. Okay, because yes, they cut ties only after he moved from pooping on black folk to pooping on Jewish folk and everybody else in between. But the fact of the matter is, we still got shat on. We didn't ask to get shat on. Where is the Kanye that said George Bush does not care about black people? Kanye West doesn't care about black people. Kanye West cares about the almighty dollar and what it's gonna do next. He does not care about black people, so why should black people care about what's happening to Kanye right now? And that's pretty much where I'm at with this. We're not gonna coddle him. We're not. He pretty much made his bed and now he has to lay in it. But my question still remains, what's he gonna do now? Because who is gonna take his money? People are literally giving his money back and saying, we don't want your money, we don't want your products, we don't want nothing to do with you. That's cold. But that's also what it looks like when you sever a narcissist. You sever ties with a narcissist, that's what it looks like. And so in this situation, it looks like he's trying to dispose of them by being extremely naughty and problematic, and they, in turn, dispose of him. The narcissist disposal is real. So that could be what it is. But where does he go from here? Now that you got your money back, now that you're out of your contracts, if you can't get new contracts, how do you, and nobody wants to take your money, how do you flip your money now? How do you keep your legacy going and keep providing for your children? How do you not just end up another black man that once was up and now is down, down, down? We've seen time and time again. There's been so many stories and cases of black celebrities, black male celebrities, and some women who were at the height of their career And then something like this happens, only not as bad as this situation with Kanye, because not a lot of people have achieved billionaire status. So once you achieve billionaire status, in order to stay there, it's some things you're gonna have to do that Kanye obviously was not willing to do. Now, I'm sure he got money here, there, and everywhere, but if he's not able to keep making money before he kicks the bucket and his children get to live off of their dad's empire that he built, which they're gonna be straight anyway, because lucky for them, their mother is Kim Kardashian, so they're straight either way, okay? They got 2 rich parents. So even if Kanye's well runs dry, his kids are straight for life regardless, but his legacy is more important than the money that the legacy brought in. It's the history, it's the story, it's what's behind it. You know, that's what I feel like he's not considering, his children, because he's selfish. And in order to get his own way, he essentially destroyed his own legacy because he wants to be a pouty baby. Like, I'm not getting it. I'm not. I need somebody to make it make sense. If you are watching this video and you can make it make sense for me in the comments and, you know, detail it how you see it or how it's meant to be, Kanye West, if you watch this video, child, we need answers and we need them expeditiously. That is it for this Be With The Tea. I love you all so much, and I'm looking so forward to hearing what you guys have to say in the comment section below. I will see you all in the next one.